It is February 8th, 2020. We're here at 176 Prospect in Chula Vista, California. We're going to inspect the main sewer line here from the 3-inch original cast iron vent. Here's where our 2 toilets are dumping into the system. So this is the beginning of the sewer main there. We're now transitioning into the horizontal pipe. Going across this original 3-inch cast iron pipe. A little bit of flaky debris and buildup, but very, very minor. Here it appears we have a clean out on the property. I'm not sure if that's exposed at the ground level there. We'll go ahead and double check that to see if that's been exposed and mark that on the property. We're going to pause the video for 1 second. Okay, so we're right at about 24 feet out from the vent. We're going to continue down the line here. This is all original 3-inch cast iron pipe. Again, little deposits here and there on the bottom, as you can see, but nothing too severe. Continue down the line here. Okay, somebody's replaced part of the pipe right here. We have a transition into black ABS plastic. And we have a T-junction right there. Now I believe the garage area may have been converted into a bathroom. We do see water pipes that were going back and forth, possibly over towards that area. So I think this was a T-junction that was added for an additional bathroom, possibly again in the garage area. A little hiccup right there, just some buildup on the bottom of the pipe. That's pretty typical. Still a good alignment with the ABS overall, but the bottom is holding a little bit of water there. So a little bit more scale and deposit buildup on the bottom. The bottom of the pipe here is a little bit more flat on the bottom, not as rounded. So a little bit more, but nothing overly severe. But if any other product other than toilet paper is being put down, then that could lead to some stoppages, as it won't roll down the system very cleanly or easily. Rough pipe will cause things to do that. See a little pocket of standing water right there, just minimal. Jump over that little hump. Sometimes that can be hydrojetted and some of that scale can be cleaned off to make it a little bit smoother, but sometimes that also can adversely affect the pipe and cause more of it to break or pop off, but that's one possible thing to kind of clean that up, but we'll see. Okay, now we're running into a big pool of water right here. So this is either the bottom of the line is partially rotted out, or we've got some buildup or a stoppage coming forward, and it's causing all this water to be held in place here. So we can see the bottom right there. Not sure if that's a little bit of mud and dirt. There's a good chance the bottom of that pipe, a little bit of what appears to be some roots possibly right there. And yeah, as soon as we come out of this water, coming up right here, we can see some roots at the wall of this pipe right here. As I back up there on the upper left of the screen, you can see those roots growing in the line. So this cast iron pipe right here has this bad, what we call a sag or a belly, that's holding all this water. It's probably because the bottom is rotting out, and or because of the turn and the twist they had to make on the system. They laid that down at a little awkward angle. Okay, so right here you can see a little bit of those small roots that are hanging out on the pipe as we actually also make that turn and transition, and that's turning into the clay pipe. This is 4-inch clay. We're actually dragging that little bit of root there. Don't believe we have a neighbor junctioning in. I think it was just a transition for this property. Now running through this clay, so you can see we have some roots intruding in this clay right here. They're pretty minor right now. I don't know if they've been cleaned out recently over the past year or whatnot. A little bit growing in the line. can see we're about 75 feet out from the vent on the rooftop to get to those roots. Not finding any other roots so far in this system. Keep pushing out here across this clay a little bit quicker. We have to sometimes use a little bit more speed to get through the line when we get out this far. Little tiny root right there, nothing severe. Okay, and here's our dump into the city. So here's the large city pipe with all the neighboring properties on the street draining by. So we're exactly almost 100 feet from the top of the roof vent to the city. So overall the clay is in very good condition. We have that one minor intrusion. Right now it's not anything that even needs to be snaked or cleaned out, but we are going to go ahead and pull back and locate where that's at, since we have to locate that other area with the heavy water standing in it, and then the other clean out that we found at ground level at about 25 feet out. So we'll back up here a few more feet. Right here is the one intrusion. Again, not too bad, relatively light, but we'll go ahead and pause the video right here and locate this. Okay, so this single small root intrusion, which again does not need to be dug up or repaired, is in the street. It's right in front of actually the water box as far as the location, about 3 feet into the street. We've marked it with a single green dot. There is a vehicle kind of parked around there, so we can't get our detector over for the depth exactly, but again, it doesn't matter. It's not going to be a dig up area. So I'm now going to back up on the line here and come back to the transition where it goes back to the cast iron where it's holding all this water that we suspect either the angle and or the bottom of the pipe is rotted out. So it's definitely going to hold things up and cause stoppages, that's for sure. So here's this turn, a little bit of roots growing in right there. So you can see a little bit of the roots right there. And now as soon as I come back here, this is the problem area. As I back up, you're going to see everything goes underwater. So watch the screen. Okay, we're just dictating to the homeowner that's here at ground level watching our secondary monitor. So now we're going to back up at this turn and boom, we go all underwater here. As we slowly back up here, camera's got to move for a couple more feet almost before we come out of all this water, and there we go. So that's that pocket that's holding all that water. So we're going to go ahead and dictate that to the homeowner. You see how that's holding all that water? We had to back up for a couple feet to get out of it. So the pipe is bad right there, and that's why things are backing up. I'm going to mark it for us to let you know. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and back up just a little bit more here because we need to find an area where we would really start digging to cut it. So that's really not too much in far of the area holding water here. So we're going to back up just to about here. The pipe may be fragile here, but this would be the good beginning point to catch that. So we're going to pause and locate. Okay, so we've located this spot in the system, and unfortunately the pipe is 4 feet deep, but it's just in front of the palm tree. So the sewer pipe is running directly under the palm tree. There's 2 palm trees in the front yard, and as you're looking out the front of the house towards the street, it's the palm tree on the right. So we'll put a little flag in the ground denoting the path of the pipe, and again 4 feet in depth. Now, that's the minimum spot we could start to catch and start replacing it. We may have to go further back into the front yard if the pipe crumbles or cracks. But then as we go forward, you can see here, this is literally pretty much now we're literally directly under the palm tree. We're all underwater here. It's all rotted out and or a bad sloped angle. Could be a combination. And then as we finally come out of that, there's a little bit of debris in our camera lens there. We'll try to rinse that off a little bit, see if it'll wash off. Here's the turn. So you see we're hitting the wall of the pipe right here. That's making that angled turn. That's where we had also those little bit of tiny roots. The camera got some debris on it, so it's not crystal clear right now like it was initially. But right here is making that turn. Oh, there's those little roots. Just saw some of them right there really quick. Anyway, this right here is a transition, and that's the clay pipe we would have to tie back into. So here's the turn, here's the straight pipes. Now we need to locate this right here. This would be where this ending spot of digging would have to occur. Okay, so we've marked this clay pipe here, which is 3.5 feet deep, because it's on the other side of the retaining wall, where there's a slight grade difference in the front compared to the front yard. And so we've marked that with some green paint on the ground and a little green yellowish flag. So right here we've marked that flag that says clay and says 42 inches deep for the 3.5 feet. It's about a 5-foot distance that we're at here, as we have to come backwards to that other spot right in front of the palm tree, and probably gonna have to go another foot off of that, but that palm tree is gonna have to probably come out of the way. There's no way it can probably be dug up. It's gonna be so severe in the way, and so much would have to be undermined, it just wouldn't make it and wouldn't allow us to do the digging job. So again, as we come to that little turn, which is kind of like a property line T-clean out, we're completely underwater here. You can see for almost 5 feet, and then we finally come out of that area. And so the pipe is basically all original cast here, but it's all fine. There's nothing as of right now. Now we don't know how, just like any cast iron system, how it's going to survive when it gets dug up and has to be cut into. So there's a possibility we'll have to keep going back foot by foot to find clean pipe that survives the cutting process. There's no guarantee. But as we come back here, we're going to pull back for the homeowner to locate again the other clean out. So there's the T-junction that was put in by them for the addition that he did mention that was added. A little slight misalignment, as you can see again, and we also typically would have cleaned the bottom of the cast iron up so that it had a smoother transition from there, but not too bad overall. And then as we back up here, well, you know what? We're going to go ahead and push forward again. Let's just go ahead and we're going to go ahead and locate where this is at, just in case it ever became a problem. Let's go ahead and mark this in the front yard. I'm going to pause the recording. Okay, we're still getting a depth reading of almost 3 feet 10 inches deep. We're right in about the middle of the yard. We painted a small green dot on the ground denoting this, again, plastic T-junction that was added for the drain that they created. Now we're going to back up to about this 25-foot mark to locate this other buried clean out they may not have known about. So it's right there. So there's the other clean out. You can see right there. That's probably what's called a double sweep, single vertical, and then as you look down the vertical, you can get a cable to go one way. This way, as we're looking up, that would go back into the house, and then we pass that little piece and we can see vertically the other sweep right there on the top of the screen. So we're not allowed to use these anymore. There's a baffle in the middle, so it essentially doesn't allow you to put a full-size cutter and cable through there, because sometimes the baffle won't interfere with that. But anyway, there is this clean out that allows you to go in both directions. So we're going to go ahead and try to park our camera in the right spot right underneath here. We're going to pause and locate this. Okay, so we've gone ahead and marked this other clean out right here that's in the front. It's about 2 feet 10 inches deep. It's just on the edge of where the grass starts, next to some rectangular bricks, and we painted that one brick right where it's kind of underneath with a green paint dot. Doesn't really need to be exposed. The other repair that needs to happen at the front of the yard under the palm tree will have clean outs added up there, but we did mark and locate that. So everything else is good on the system, so that concludes this recording.